Imagine starting at the very bottom, not just a little down on your luck, but so far beneath everyone else that you feel like you're living in a different world. The kind of place where hope is a rare visitor and dreams seem like stories meant for someone else. I'm talking about dirt under your nails, empty pockets, and the world looking at you like you're invisible. Every day is a struggle, and every night you wonder if tomorrow will be any different. You watch people pass by, their lives full of color and purpose, while you fade into the background, unseen and unheard. That was my life. I was that guy, the poorest of the poor, scraping by in a world where everyone, and I mean everyone, was born with a special power. It was like being the only one left out of a secret club, watching from the outside as everyone else showed off their gifts. Some could bend fire, others could control shadows, and their talents made them heroes, celebrities, or even rulers, and a lucky few could even fly. They soared above the city, untouchable, admired by all. Their lives seemed effortless, like they were born to be extraordinary. Me? I thought I had nothing. No spark, no gift, nothing to set me apart. I spent years searching for a sign that I belonged, that I was more than just a shadow in the crowd. But you know what's funny about hitting rock bottom? It's quiet. The noise of the world fades away and you're left alone with your thoughts, your fears, and your hopes. In that silence you start to hear things, inside yourself, the doubts, the dreams, the tiny voice that refuses to give up. And that's when I discovered it. It wasn't loud or flashy, it was a whisper, a feeling deep in my bones that something was waiting to wake up. Not a normal power, not at all. When my life was on the line, I changed. Bones cracked, skin shimmered, and suddenly I wasn't a man anymore. My body twisted and grew, pain and power mixing together until I barely recognized myself. I was a dragon. Not just a creature of myth, but a force of nature. Ancient, powerful, and terrifying. Yeah, you heard me. Wings, scales, the whole package. The kind of power that legends are made of. I could feel the strength in my muscles, the fire in my breath, the freedom in my wings. For the first time, I wasn't invisible. I was unstoppable. But here's the twist. Just because you turn into something big and scary doesn't mean you stop feeling small. Inside, I was still that kid with empty pockets, still searching for a place to belong. The world didn't know how to handle me. People stared, whispered, and pointed fingers. Some saw a monster, others saw a miracle, but nobody really saw me. Some people wanted to use me, to turn my power into their weapon, their ticket to glory or control. Others tried to hunt me down, afraid of what I could do, convinced that I was a threat that needed to be destroyed. And a few, well, they just wanted me gone. It's hard to be different in a world that fears what it doesn't understand. But I made a promise. I wouldn't be the monster they feared. I'd be the savior they needed. I chose to use my power to protect, not to destroy, to lift others up instead of tearing them down. Every day, new threats rose up, shadow beasts, tyrant kings, and dangers that threatened to swallow the world in darkness, and creatures from your worst nightmares. They came from the shadows, from forgotten places, and it was up to me to stand in their way. I stood between them and the people who needed protecting, not because I was fearless, but because I remembered what it felt like to have nothing. I knew what it meant to be powerless, and I refused to let anyone else feel that way if I could help it. And the coolest part, I wasn't alone. Along the way, I found others who believed in something bigger than themselves. In this world, everyone had a gift, and the only way we'd make it through was together. We learned to trust each other, to fight side by side, and to share our strengths and our fears. I fought alongside healers who could turn back time, warriors who summoned storms, and friends who never gave up, no matter how dark things got. Kids who could talk to plants, each of us different, but all fighting for the same thing. We were a family, bound not by blood but by purpose and hope. So if you ever feel like you're too small, too poor, or too weak to matter, remember my story. The world is full of people who will try to tell you what you can't do, but only you can decide what you're truly capable of. Sometimes the greatest savior comes from the humblest beginnings. The ones who have nothing left to lose are often the ones who fight the hardest for change. And sometimes, all it takes to change the world is finding the dragon inside you. So don't be afraid to look within, to embrace your own power and to rise above whatever holds you back. Because even the smallest spark can ignite a legend.